Okay, hi everyone. This is episode 3 of our built-in public series where we post weekly and bi-weekly episodes on how we are trying to build the world's first Peacewear brand. This week, what we'll be discussing is managing suppliers, which took most of our time in the past few months. How do you look for the perfect supplier? How do you manage your supplier considering the logistics and delivery of your products? What are some key things that you should look at before purchasing your first set of inventory? These are a couple of things that we'll be discussing and what our plans are in the future when it comes to our supply chain. So we'll start off with you, Shayan.
Yeah, so as you guys know, we started with our first products back in India, with season one being around India and Pakistan. And that offered us a great storyline that we could pick up off and create our products with and manufacture and sell to get customer feedback right there in India. And starting locally is a really good way to start. You get to engage with customers, you get to meet manufacturers, you know how things happen, and you have something specific that you can target with what you're building. Now, we already from the start had the problem with our team being separated across from through multiple countries. And it made clear that our vision would be global, and that we wanted to become global. But we couldn't start global. We started locally, and that made fulfillment easier, manufacturing easier, and so on. But because of our travels, visa-related issues, the nature of our university, we had to fix or change that up and see how we evolve from there. And yeah, um, in the end, having local manufacturing, supplying, and so on, worked within the small region within Delhi. But when we came to catering and having 8 billion project for a global audience, continuing on that route would not be really feasible. So we had to find end-to-end suppliers that can do that on a global level as well.
All right, perfect. So the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is validating the product before you buy in bulk or purchase the inventory. This is really important. To go back to February approximately, we thought that selling shirts with Coke Studio Pakistan, Tala Anjum, different iconic people from the music scene in Pakistan, in India, selling those shirts would truly make us a lot of money. It would sell out fast. A lot of people love these musicians. There is a hype generated around them. And when we first launched, we had 11 sales on our first pop-up, which isn't bad, but it isn't good either. And a lot of the sales weren't even for our Coke Studio Pakistan shirts. The next pop-up we did, we incorporated new designs. For example, we incorporated our chai shirt, which talked about chai across the border. We talked about the mountain shirt that Shayan designed, that showcases the Himalayan mountains between India and Pakistan. And then the Veins of Life bowler shirt, the Indus rivers of flow between India and Pakistan. Experimenting with these designs was really important because it taught us that we do not know our customer properly without testing it out with them first. We shouldn't make assumptions. So when it comes to your product, remove any and all assumptions and test in two different ways and formats, online and offline. Offline will be through your pop-up events, going to people physically and in person and testing it out. Do you like it? Why don't you like it? What are things that would be better? Does it solve a problem for you? Would you like to use this on a regular basis? And online, you can experiment and validate your designs or whatever it is, whatever product you're creating by hacking in to existing Reddit communities that already match the persona of your ideal customer and ask them the question, do you like our designs? Do you like this product? Why don't you like this product? What can be better? Because these are anonymous people across the world. They're not going to be nice to you because they're not talking to your face. They're just going to be honest, because that's what you asked for. And then comes the mom test. I'm not going to discuss this in great detail in this video. You can search this. There's a book on it as well. but your mom will never discourage an idea you have because your mom loves you. So try to be extremely vague and extremely generic when you're trying to validate something. And this way, people may be able to be more honest to your face about what they perceive about that.
So I'm going to be talking about choosing a supply chain that matches your lifestyle. So for us, we would be traveling. We wouldn't be able to stay in one place. And the advantage of staying in one place is you get to have a lot more control, you can say, over the quality because it's a local manufacturer that you find. You can go there yourself. You can see the quality, make sure whatever is being produced is of exactly what you want to produce. And unfortunately, that didn't work for us. So we decided to go for a print on demand model. And this is we decided to go with a print on demand model matching our lifestyle. And with this, the advantage that we had was we didn't have to worry about quality control. They have those systems in place. Some of the drawbacks that came with it was the shipping time and the shipping costs. And because of that reason, a lot of regions we cannot ship to. We cannot do it globally, but we can ship to the top 50 markets for a somewhat affordable price for shipping as well as the cost of production. But ideally, if you can do it locally, it will be cheaper for you to start out. And if you have a good shipping partner as well, you can sort out that supply chain. But we couldn't do that. So we decided to go for a print on demand model. And one thing I would say is this is somewhat similar to drop shipping, but I would highly recommend that you don't consider drop shipping as a model in itself. It's basically a solution for if you cannot hold any inventory or if you cannot do the shipping yourself, if you cannot, if you are in a situation like ours, right? So moving on from that, I'd say when you have sorted out your design and you've sorted out your manufacturing, next best thing you would need to do is set your margins. And when you set up your margins, you have to be very thoughtful and methodical about it. You need to, and we did this exercise, and it goes hand in hand with what Dua said about getting feedback. What we did was we did a simple thing. We took our designs, we got mock-ups of it, we put it up on Reddit as an anonymous account, and we asked people, how much do you think this costs? When we did that, we got some brutally honest feedback about how much people think this costs. And this sort of goes in hand with the mom test. People don't know it's our brand. People don't really care. There's no emotional value attached to it, so they're honest. This is what they think it's valued at. And now you can tell how much more you will have to compensate with your brand equity, how much more you will have to compensate with the message around your brand and your marketing. So you have to be able to find that balance in matching the costs of production and then also looking at how much what you've made is valued in the market. So that's my advice.
All right, thank you so much for watching. If you guys have taken away anything, any key learning, we'd be happy to hear more about it. If you have any more questions, the three of us have our DMs always open, LinkedIn, X, wherever it may be. And of course, if there's any advice or anything you'd like to share with us that might help us in our journey of trying to build the world's first Peacewear brand, we'd be really, really happy to hear it. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode.